everyone. Tony Winston here, Jazz Piano College. Got a chart in the key of C for My Romance by Rodgers and Hart, dating back to 1935. And a lot of students will like to see songs in the key of C. And I think in the real book, this chart is in B flat, but let's take a look at this chart. So I'm going to do mostly open voicings, but occasionally I will have a closed voicing. So we're starting off with Berklee College of Music formula, which is 1, 5, 7, 3, 5. That triangle up there means major, so it's a major 7th chord, easy chord to find. Just take a C major chord, drop that root down to the 7th. Practice it through the cycle of fifths. Now that's not the whole cycle of fifths, but it's a good way to end a song. Maybe we'll use it at the end of this song. So now here I'm just going to use a closed voicing. Why not? You can mix them up. Back to an open voicing. And here, the Berklee College of Music would be a little bit bigger. You'd be that and 1, 5, 3, 7, 3. But, coming from D minor here, we don't want to drop all the way down to E minor there. So let's just move it up to E minor like this. What you do is you take out the doubled note. So get rid of that and then bring this up an octave. Okay, here comes A minor. We need a root, a 7th, and a 3rd, and the melody note, and something to fill in this little distance here. So we'll just put the 5 in there. That's the 7, sorry. I could put the 5 in, but I kind of think the 7 sounds better. Okay, here's another chord formula. 1, 5, 7, 3, 7. And on the G7th, very easy to get to. You just go like that. But once again, I'm going to alter it a little bit and put the 7th here. Now that I've got 2 7s, I'm going to make one of them a 13. All right. You can call it a 6 if you want, but it's really called the 13 because we already have a 7th. And then we're right back where we started. Though we could add a 9th maybe this time to make it a little bit richer. All right, let's listen to that first line, see what we got. All right, I love this next chord symbol, E altered 7th. So it's a dominant 7th. All right, so here's our dominant 7th. All right. Now the melody note is C, so we're going to have to get rid of the D there because we want the melody note to be on top. And we don't want that 5 right up against our melody note. And in a dominant chord, especially an altered dominant, we don't want the 5 at all. So let's just take it out. Now we've got a root, a 7th, another root here. We don't need that, so let's get rid of it. And, we've basically got E augmented 7th. So they could have written it this way. However, the altered designation there means you could add a flat 9 or a sharp 9. Either one of those is going to sound really nice. Yeah, that sounds so good with that sharp 9 there. Gives a little bite there. And here's A minor. All right, it's the same kind of formula we used here at the beginning of C major 7th. We're just doing the root, the 5th, 7th, 3rd, and 5th. And, because it's a minor chord, we drop the root, not just a half step, but a whole step here to get the minor 7th on it. All right. Now, this is a chord also, and I think it appears in it's the next chord, and, it just says A minor there, so maybe we'll start with a pure A minor and then start altering it. All right, and that will come on beat 3. It looks like the chord symbol's right over that melody note, but it really isn't. It should be on beat 3. 2 chords in a measure, divide them up evenly. Then we get the minor 7th there. here. We've got a 7th. So I'm going to leave out the 5 and maybe just play it with my left hand there so I can add the flat 9 here. And again, here's the same formula. It's got the 5th on top, so you just take a basic chord like this and put the 7th there. Here's our G7th, and it's a dominant chord, so I don't need the 5. I could replace it with the 13. And maybe a bigger voicing this time. Root 5th, 3, 7, 3. And these open voicings, you can, add stuff to them if you want. C7th, and look, the 5 is on top, or at least it will be on beat 4. So let's just start with this and then add that note. All right, and here again, it's the same formula. The 5 is on top, so we got F, our chord, we drop it a half step like that. Okay, B flat 7 with a sharp 11. Oh my goodness. Let's just do B flat 7th. We got root, 7th, 3rd, melody note. We've got to fill in something here, so we could put another 7th or the 13. This is a nice sound. And the sharp 11 is the same as a flat 5, so we could add that as well. And other possibilities would be put the 3rd down here and double the melody note like this. Other possibilities, even add the 13 here. So chord voicing, there's so many ways to do all of these chords. And what you want to do is find the voicing that sounds right to you and seems to flow with the chords that come before and after it. So we've got F here, and then we're going to do this one, and back to there. Now it says C7th, but it'd be very easy to just do a tritone substitution here and do an F sharp, but you certainly don't have to. You could just change it to C7, play the melody note, and here's our chord again. Let's add the 9 this time. Can we make this thing any thicker? Yeah, maybe. Maybe we can do that. All right. Always an intimidating chord. F sharp minor 7, flat 5. However, it's really not too difficult of a chord. That's what it is. We've got this note on top. How could we fix it up a little bit? I don't know. It sounds pretty good the way it is. It's A minor 6th. That same chord. And in fact, you could even play an A minor 6th there. And then go to B7. And in a lot of these old fake books, that's what they'll have, because they didn't use minor 7 flat 5 very often. They would write it as A minor 6th, maybe with an F sharp in the bass or something, but and then B7, playing most of the chord, but leaving the melody note out because it comes on beat 4. So, and we could add the 9 there, though it's dangerous because it's close to the melody. But, it might sound nice. And then, add another little chord here. A minor. We talked about this one already. And here we have a D7. Now notice the melody is the 5. You could put a flat 9 in there. And then, how about a D minor closed voicing with the 11 on top? And then something real simple, because the melody note adds the 13 to that chord. All right, now we've got a repeat sign, so let me at least just play through up until the second ending. If all these open voicings are confusing to you, this song sounds pretty good just using your basic, closed voicings in root position, maybe an inversion now and then on a passing chord, like in a 2-5-1. You could consider the 5 chord the passing chord. So a little bit of reharm there, a pretty fancy reharm too. It works probably better going into the first ending. If you do, and go to C sharp minor to F sharp 7th to F major 7th. Now you might think, what the heck is that? But it is really a 2-5-1, all right? What leads to F7? The 5 chord is C. What's the tritone sub of that? Because, tritone subs work on dominant chords. So we've got F sharp or G flat, dominant 7th going to F. Now, what would be the 2 chord that would precede an F sharp dominant? It would be a C sharp chord. And because the melody note fits that, it's going to work pretty good. One melody note up there does not fit too well, but so you change the melody note. And thank you to that person who just commented on one of my Misty videos that I'm butchering the melody. Hey, that's my prerogative. So let's see if we can get into the second ending the same way. Second ending. All right, here's an A7 with a sharp 9. Well, I could just do that. A7 with a sharp 9, leaving out the 5th. And then we're adding this flat 13. So why they didn't call this an altered chord, I don't know, because this is just as altered as the other one, if not more so. And it's a nice sound there. All right, just keep as much as you can of D minor. Maybe keep the D in there. And the slash just means for the bass note to go down. So, all right, B minor 7 flat 5. It's all white keys. That's the chord. We've got the 11 on top, so let's see what I can hit here. Okay, that's a 9 that you could add. How else could we do this? I mean, we could come all the way up here, and that sounds pretty nice. A bass line jumping up to there is a little weak, but how about not making it a minor 7 flat 5, just making it a minor 7? Gives you a kind of a nice chord there with the 9th and everything. And then here's our E7. All right, put a tritone in the middle maybe. And here's our A minor. Now, the 9th gives you, the most horrible interval, except it's so beautiful when used correctly or tastefully. Slide up like this. Think of these sharp 11th chords as a C triad over a B flat 7th without the 5. And here I'd just like to throw down a pedal tone, which would be the 5. And then, you could play around. Do 1-6-2-5 to turn it around, or do 1 flat, all right, or do, all right, that's a little bit of negative harmony, but it's similar to stuff Art Tatum did. If I go to this chord right here, that's like going to an A flat. Art Tatum did that all the time. And then, this is not beginner video anymore, is it? All right, then up to here, we're going in negative harmony, and now we're going to like the plagial cadence, which can be analyzed as negative harmony. Negative harmony really isn't a thing. It's kind of just analyzing the same old musical theory in a different way. I mean, you can come up with some interesting results, which I have done. These turnarounds that go like this. All right, and of course, putting the blues scale over them helps to make them sound more authentic. Other turnarounds could be, go to instead of the 6, do a tritone, then go to maybe a major 7th chord, and then to the dominant, like that. Or even a major 7th will slide down nicely there. Now, what else could we do? Dominant 7th is good. Approaching from, a B 7th to the C is kind of like a G augmented. Very similar to that, so that's why that one sounds good. All right, that's kind of like a variation on negative harmony. Just doing 1-6-2-5 with really thick chords. Or think about the way the melody's got to come back in. So you've got to go. Trying to think of that Bill Evans. Like that. So, man. Yeah, so do like a surprise chord. Okay. Yeah, so all right, that's the Bill Evans turnaround right there. Comes from Waltz for Debbie. Am I doing it right though? We got major 7th, major 7th, major 7th, altered, or sharp 9 in there. So in this key, it would be right, that's it. So surprise chord. A surprise ending is like when you end on a chord that you don't expect. All right, F minor, B flat minor, and then resolve it. So the most common one, of course, if you have a root on top, is to go up a half step, put the major 7th chord in there. So let's do that. And then resolve it. But that can also set up the Bill Evans turnaround, which would be. How about all that good stuff and not one mention of subscribe or support me on Patreon or send me money with PayPal or any of that stuff? Help me get to 100,000 subscribers. I just save it for the end because by now you've already clicked the off button and you've gone on to some other video. But what you should do is click the off button, go to your keyboard or piano and practice some of this stuff and let it sink in. And then, of course, set your alerts for the next Tony Winston video whenever I get around to doing it.